Right then, here we are. Preview is a day early for reasons which I will explain in a second. But here we are. Here we are. Have Hull City tweeted the team news yet? Or any? I haven't seen anything from Baz Cooper because that's the only bit I haven't been able to do. Baz Cooper. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, let's have a look. I've gone out of focus. There we go, that was easy. Come on. Are we back? No, we're not back. This is the thing is, this is like meant to be a top end webcam, and it does this routinely. Which is a right pain, but is what it is. Now we can do, I suppose. Okay, right, that is sorted. Where's my shared share? I think I've shut my shared shirts file down by accident. Come on. There we go. There we go. Got it. So this is going to be a quick preview as well because I've got to print some labels off to stick on a gradient graph for geography coursework and sort that out for tomorrow. So yeah. So the reason that this preview is a day early is because tomorrow night I am in Manchester. And then I won't be back here until about 6 o'clock on Saturday night. So I won't be able to watch the game. And I won't be here to do my preview either. And I'm not going to be doing it from a Premier Inn, put it that way. Yeah. So that's why. That's why I'm in Manchester. That's the simple answer. Okay. Team news. Louis Cole's fit to return from a minor injury. Anas Zaroury is rated 50-50. I forgot to put in there. Hold on a second. I forgot to put McLaughlin in there as well. So Coyle and McLaughlin are back. And Anas Zaroury is 50-50. He said about Zaroury, he literally just said Anas is 50-50. The quote is, it starts about Louis Coyle. It's crazy what he goes through and what he's given us. To be fair, this time it wasn't his face, so that was lucky for him. He is what he is. He's a warrior, and he's our captain. Anas is 50-50. Said Louis absolutely fine. Said McLaughlin trained today as well, which is really, really good. He had a really sore back. It was stiff and completely spasmed up. He trained today on which Thursday, and we played him yesterday to train. So yeah, Sean's all right. Sean McLaughlin's back. That's good. I just want to say quickly, FA Cup replays, or lack of. There, last season, 732 teams entered and played in the FA Cup. The vote today was between the FA and the Premier League clubs. So 712 of those teams knew absolutely nothing about the vote. We cannot let 20 teams decide how the entire competition that starts, by the way, months and months before the Premier League and Championship clubs even get anywhere near starting the FA Cup. Qualifying for the first round, there's so many different qualifying rounds, preliminary rounds, then there's the first and second round before Premier League clubs even enter. Premier League clubs have the round of 64, 32, 16, quarters, semi. A Premier League club will play 6 games in the FA Cup. If a team who gets through the preliminary qualifying round gets to the third round, they play preliminary, first, second, third, fourth as well, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then first round proper, second round proper, third round. I've said it. I've said it without saying it. 20 clubs cannot control the entire English football pyramid. A pyramid from which they wouldn't exist and wouldn't be in that position that they're in today without. Will from the pod put a brilliant tweet out. Minimum games a team plays a season. In the Championship, it's 48. In League One, it's 51. In League Two, it's 51. In the Conference, it's 48. A Premier League team with no European football will play minimum 40 games a season. Less than the Conference, less than the 4 divisions below it, right? Premier League teams in Europe with the new format coming in next season or the season after, a minimum of 48 games. Despite lower league clubs being absolutely fine with the games they have to play, when the big boys whinge, the entire system, which works for everybody but them, has to be torn to pieces and totally rewritten. It's not wrong at all. Will makes the point in this tweet as well. I'd absolutely love to see Championship, League One, League Two, non-league, national, whatever. I'd love to see teams boycott the FA Cup next season. I would. Or if they get in there, play the under-15s or something, right? As a protest to say, look, this is what's happened. And as Will says, tell the FA how the clubs aren't getting their asses kissed by them, Phil. An EFL board meeting's just taken place after it was a bombshell statement. The EFL knew nothing about it. The FA's statement, the FA Cup statement reads, the FA and the Premier League have reached an agreement to strengthen the Emirates FA Cup format and increase support for grassroots football. I like that all rounds of the FA Cup will now be played on weekends. I think the fifth round being randomly in midweek is a bit strange. The fourth, fifth, and quarterfinals rounds will all be all be exclusive of Premier League fixtures for the first time. I assume that means no Premier League teams can play each other. The competition will be played without replays from the first round onwards. Boo. The Premier League will provide up to an additional 33 million quid for grassroots football on top of the 100 million it currently gives to the good causes each season. Why does the replays have to be part of that? The FA didn't consult the lower leagues, the majority of football stakeholders, to please the Premier League. It's a complete joke, quite frankly. Tranmere Rovers put a brilliant statement out. That statement reads, Tranmere Rovers condemn the disgraceful decision taken by the FA and the Premier League to change the format of the FA Cup, including the scrapping of replays. There was no consultation with EFL clubs, National League clubs, or grassroots clubs, to whom the competition represents not only their best opportunity to create lifelong memories for supporters, but also a hugely important source of income. We also understand that the FA Council members were not consulted about the changes. The decision and the way it was taken demonstrates a total lack of respect for the football pyramid and its fans. Football belongs to all of us, and the decisions should not be taken in backroom deals in which only the very wealthiest clubs are allowed to participate. It is yet another eloquent example of the 19th century governance that means that football cannot regulate itself, and the independent football needs the independent football regulator to have real teeth. We condemn the changes wholeheartedly and urge the FA to suspend them immediately until all stakeholders in the game are properly consulted. It's the fact that it was just the Premier League. This is the biggest example ever, by the way, of the Premier League having a stranglehold on English football. It says, the FA's statement says, the agreement, which is for a minimum of 6 years, starts next season. All rounds of the FA Cup will now be played on weekends, including the 5th round, which has been played in midweek for the last 5 years. The 4th and 5th rounds of the quarterfinals will be exclusive of Premier League fixtures for the very first time. And the 4th round will have an extended window from Friday to Wednesday to allow fans to watch consecutive days of Emirates FA Cup football. From the first round proper, the competition will be played without replays. The current format, which has no replays from the 5th round onwards, has been extended throughout the competition proper in light of changes to the calendar driven by the expanded UEFA competition. Expanded UEFA competition, my ass. The Emirates FA Cup final will now take place on the penultimate weekend of the Premier League season on an exclusive Saturday with no Premier League fixtures taking place on the same day. Additionally, there will be no Premier League games on the Friday night before the final to allow focus on the build-up to the showpiece event. My opinion, exclusive of all Premier League ties. I see the plus, but I also see the downside of the plus side. Yeah, more lower league clubs get to go to the Premier League, but no, not a single Premier League side playing each other means the chances of a team doing a Coventry this season, doing what Wigan did in 2013, doing what, I mean, these two examples don't really work, but yeah, I'll scrap that. But doing what Coventry have done this season, a championship team getting to the semi-finals, doing what Lincoln did a few years ago, getting to, was it the quarters they got to? I think. Anyway, it simply means that they're not. No Premier League teams playing each other will mean that they can't get knocked out by one another, meaning the chance of a smaller team, like Coventry have done this season, getting to Wembley, it makes it a lot more unlikely, doesn't it? Grimsby last season's a great example. If Premier League sides don't knock each other out, let's say our run, right? Let's say we got past Birmingham. Then we got past Leicester. Arsenal and Liverpool played each other in the early rounds. That's great. One of them was knocked out. It was Arsenal. As much, I think the rule needed to be all Premier League games don't get televised, which I'd be happy with. But no Premier League teams playing each other for the fourth, fifth, and quarterfinals means that these bigger teams can't knock one another out, right? These changes steer the FA Cup to make the rich richer and have a better chance of winning it. Where's the third round? In the third round this year, all Premier League games it don't really work. We'll go fourth round. Fourth round, all Premier League games. Aston Villa, Chelsea, one of them went. Fulham, Newcastle, one of them went. Everton, Luton, one of them went. Sheffield United, Brighton, one of them went. Man City, Tottenham, one of them went. That's fine. That's potentially, let's say Man City instead get Ipswich and Tottenham end up playing Maidstone. Let's say, for example, Everton instead draw Sheffield Wednesday. Luton instead draw Swansea. Newcastle draw Watford. Fulham draw Bristol City. Aston Villa draw Plymouth. Chelsea draw Wrexham. I don't know. Right? Automatically, that doubles the amount of Premier League teams in the next round. The changes are complete nonsense, quite frankly. And the EFL on all their clubs need to release a joint statement saying this is how much we disapprove of this. And spell it out as it is. I expect Adrian will write something. Anyway, reminder, that's the team news. Coyle and McLaughlin are back. Zaroui's 50-50. Ref watch. The referee is Ben Turner. Two liners, Mark Stevens and Sean Hudson. Fourth official is Jeremy Simpson. Let me just reload all my tabs because they've been left like idle for too long. I am going to have to whiz through this now because I've spent the last 10 minutes talking about greed, which is well worth speaking about, don't get me wrong. And also, quickly, Player of the Year votes are open. I will say, if I just go back onto news, on this little graphic here, Greaves, Jones, Seri, Philogene, Tufan, Coyle. an Allsop in there. Anyway, my vote goes to Louis Coyle. Sorry, not sorry. Right then. No, that's still on Ref Watch. Stats. Didn't have more shots, but look at that. 5 on target. We scored 3 goals. It's almost as if you take the opportunities that come your way, no matter how limited. You've got a good chance of winning the game if you defend well. Wonder who'll get the Players' Choice for Player of the Season. I reckon it'll be Jade. It'll be Jaden or Greaves. Coyle Player of the Year. Greaves wins it easy. Manager's Player of the Year, I think, will be Louis Coyle. Rossini's always talking about how he's a warrior. Yeah. Right. So, moving on. Head-to-head for Watford. In their last game, a 3-2 defeat against Southampton, their team was the following. Dan Bachman in goal. They had... it's not in position, it's in squad number. Right. Wesley Hoot was at centre-back. Ryan Porteous was right-back. Jamal Lewis, left-back. This is annoying. Matty Pollock was the other centre-back. These two ex-City boys, one, the other, boo, quite strongly, were both unused subs. So that's the back four. Midfield 2 were Tom Deli-Bashiru and Edo Kayembe, with Yogi Chakvatadze the 10. Wide players were Yasser Asprilla and Emmanuel Dennis, with Vakun Bayo up top. I say Vakun Bayo like that because if Leo's listening, watching, whatever, he'll get it. What was I going to say? I'm not going to explain the context. Every time I say Vakun Bayo, I've got to say it like that, like Vakun Bayo. I'll just ask Vakun Bayo. Yeah, you'll ask no one, mate. Get Giles snapped up. Apparently, it's an obligation to buy. No, it's just an option. It's a straight option. Giles done enough. I prefer Matty Jacob to Giles. I think Ryan Giles has been decent, and I think he is worth spending the money on. I think he is. The guy's been the best left back in the Championship for however many years. If we take the shackles off and tell him, Gilo, get forward, it's what you do best. We'll worry about the defensive stuff when it comes to it. Easy. Again, with Giles, I'll say that in the early games, with the crosses he was putting in, if Liam Delap was on the pitch, he'd probably have a lot more assists than he does currently. If someone could finish off those chances. Right, head to head. Quickly rattle through this because I do really need to get on with my work. Watford's last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drew against Leeds, drew against West Brom, drew against Preston, drew against Ipswich. Reminiscent, this, isn't it? And then lost 3-2 to Southampton. They've won once in, what's that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've won twice in 11 games, twice in 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 3 in 18, 3 in 19, 3 in 20, 3 in 21, 4 in 22, 5 in 23, 5 in 24, 5 in 25. They've won, since they've played us, they've won 5 games in the 25 games since. I think. How many games is it? Just let me check. Unless I've got my counting. I'm just checking out. I've got my counting right. 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, I've not done all competitions, have I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. They've won 5 times in 24 games since then. And I've not done ours, but you know it. I've shut the tab down now. Looking at the amount of players we could lose in the summer, it could be a big rebuild next year. But look how nicely they fitted in this season. You know, players like Philogene, Delap, Mortar, they didn't need much bedding in because they fitted in right away. So hopefully we sign more players like that. Josh King is not shared shirts. I was close to picking him, but I decided against it. League table, that's how we're looking. He's still close. I was having this debate the other day. Are we more likely to catch Norwich or West Brom? I say West Brom just because Leicester can still turn it on. And Preston's not an easy game. Sheff Wednesday are scrapping for every point down the bottom. Whereas if you look at Norwich, they've got Bristol City and Swansea who aren't really playing for anything. And then Brum on the last day, they could be still scrapping for every point. So that's big. But yeah, there we are. So, moving on around the grounds on Championship Match Day 44. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday is Leicester versus West Brom. The rest of the games are 3 o'clock on Saturday unless stated otherwise. Cardiff versus Southampton, Watford versus us, Sunderland v Millwall, Stoke v Plymouth, Rotherham versus Birmingham, Norwich versus Bristol City, Huddersfield versus Swansea. At 5:15 on Saturday, it's QPR versus Preston. On Sunday at 12:30, it's Blackburn versus Sheffield Wednesday. On Monday at 8 o'clock, it is Middlesbrough versus Leeds United. And then the Coventry versus Ipswich game has been rearranged because Coventry are playing in the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United. Memorable match is, you probably don't remember this, 1-0 defeat to Watford in the Premier League, but I've picked it as memorable because it's one of twice that pink third shirt got worn, and that's the only reason. Michael Dawson scored an own goal, and that cost us a point. David Marshall in goal that day, back three, was Harry Maguire, Michael Dawson, Curtis Davis. Wingers, El Mohammadi and Klukas. Midfield, 3 in the centre, Ryan Mason, Jake Livermore and Marcus Henriksen. Will Keane and Abel Hernandez led the line. The bench was the following: Eldin Jakupovic, the goalkeeper, David Myler, Tom Huddleston, Sean Maloney, James Weir, Josh Timon, and Jared Bowen, with Mike Phelan the gaffer. And then last time out, it was a 2-1 defeat. Frantic start to the game with 2 goals in 2 minutes in the 8th and 10th minute. Edo Kayambe giving Watford the lead. Scott Twine levelling it for us. Wesley Hoot scored that halfway line banger. Allsop should have done better with it. consider me shocked. Team Allsop in goal, back for Christie, Jones, Greaves and Coyle. Midfield, Seri, Morton and Twine. Wingers, Lakilo, Philogene, up top, Delap. Bench, Ingram, McLaughlin, Tufan, Doherty, Traore, Vaughan, Smith, Slater and Connolly. Rossignol, the gaffer. And then our record against Watford, once I get rid of these ads on the site, is mixed. Last 5, 2 wins, 2 defeats and a draw. Couldn't be more balanced. We'll keep rattling through. Will Keane, yes. Blue kit on Saturday. Connor, I think it has to be. For only the second time this season. We'll wear it the same amount of times we wore that pink, I think. Unless we wear it at Plymouth, which I don't think we will, because blue is like really close to the green, and we'll just wear the amber. Shared shirts is Sky Sports regular Keith Andrews. Played for us 2005-2006, played 30 times, didn't score. 2014-15 season, he was on loan at Watford from Bolton, played 11 times and scored once. Predicted team, I'm going to stick with if it ain't broke, don't fix it, unchanged. Allsop in goal, back four, Slater, Jones, Greaves, the skipper and Jacob. Midfield, Morton, Seri and Carvalho. On the right, Abdushamir. On the left, Jane and Philogene. And up top, Ozan Tufan. The bench, Panda, Coyle, Giles, McLaughlin, Traore, Sharp, Delap, Christie and Connolly. Quickly done there. Predicted scores, everyone. We always have that kit that basically never gets used. That yes, that. Oh, what a kit! We didn't even see it in its full glory with the amber shorts, did we? We saw it at Huddersfield with black shorts, and that was it. We couldn't use the amber shorts because we were wearing the bright yellow keeper kit, and those shorts were yellow, so we couldn't use the amber one. Anyway, Theo says 2-1. I'm in agreement with that scoreline. 2-1 win for us. Goals from Abdush, finally, and Watford said Tufan was shite. Now he's scoring at Vicarage Road. 3-0 City says, I'm still going to call you AGU, mate. Gallagher says 2-0, Carvalho and Delap. Cool. That'll do me. Time to do some work and go to the loo first. See you later, everyone. I hope you all, if you're going down to Watford, have safe travels. Take care, up the Tigers, and I'll see you after the game on Saturday when I give a sort of rundown of my thoughts, seeing we won, what the social media reaction is, because I want to watch the game because I'm in Manchester. See you later, everyone. Take care. Goodbye, up the Tigers.